Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffery Combs, President and Founder, Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated, getting dialed in here on a beautiful, and I do mean beautiful out there, Tuesday afternoon, 2/4 Tuesday. This will be a game-changing Facebook Live for you today. This live is called I Am Me, I Am Free. So welcome to Facebook Live. I have been grinding today. I mean grinding. That is a word that I typically don't use, but a lot of production. So in production, I am me and I am free. I'm going to go ahead and let the Facebook Live populate. My exceptional client and friend and co-collaborator, Aaron Knight, has joined me. Stacy, good to see you. Stacy, please say hello to Aaron. Aaron, please say hello to Stacy Berkman. Both of you are Canadians, and we are both in the same program, Stacy. So get acclimated with Aaron. He is a good man. Scott Lucas, say hello to Stacy. Stacy is relatively new to my Facebook Lives. Beth Ireland, thank you for sending me that insight today. Scott Lucas, good to see you. Kate Grace, Cassiopeia, good to see you. Ryan Andrew, good to see you. In California, Central California, it is absolutely beautiful. So all of you who are on today's Facebook Live, I'm going to let you know that I feel more and more comfortable that soon California will be one of the states that lifts the mask laws. And once the mask laws are lifted, I will host Breakthroughs to Success. So those of you who have not attended Breakthroughs to Success and are my coaching clients, or you have attended before, you will have the ability to come back free of charge as part of the breakthrough experience. So just as soon as the mask law gets lifted, I will resume Breakthroughs to Success. I have not hosted a Breakthroughs since December 2019. So let's move into the inspirational portion of today's Facebook Live. So the topic of today's Facebook Live is I am me, I am free. And what does that actually mean? It means you're free of being overwhelmed. It's free of being an addict. It's free of being in control of feeling out of control. It would be free and flexible to be able to be in a relaxed body. You'd be able to speak comfortably, articulate your feelings into words, write content without any anxiety, walk down the street without feeling like someone's going to traumatize you, violate you, challenge you, because you are living in a free world, as free as you can do it. Bernice, good to see you this afternoon. So free means you're free of being overwhelmed. You're free of worry. You're free of thinking about situations that haven't happened. You're in the flow. You're in the zone. You're ITF, in the hands-free zone, and you're no longer in an overwhelmed state. So that means you're not inhibited. You're not tied down. You're not thinking about the worst case scenarios. It means you're able to be right here and right now. You're present. And it means on command, you can let go. David, good to see you this afternoon. On command, you can let go. So in any given moment, you can go into a conscious state of meditation. On any given moment, you can let go. You can, like I can be in my chair, put my feet on my desk, abdominal breathe, and be able to be in a very relaxed state, in a meditative state for a few moments. Now, I grew up in Iowa, and in Iowa is the #1 college in the world for transcendental meditation. For those of you who've never heard of the college, it is called Maharishi International University. And I used to go to the campus long before I even knew what meditation was, and walk around the campus and think how cool it would be to meditate. Well, that's in a very advanced form of meditation, transcendental meditation, taught by advanced yogis from India. But I learned just the simple state of yoga and learned simple states of meditation through my recovery. As an addict, I could never turn the engine off. How many of you can relate to that? I was always in the future of the next relapse, the next addiction, the next woman I was going to pick up, the next drink I was going to drink, the next weed I was going to smoke, where I was going to score, where I was going to get a fix. I mean, in the future, also, I was chronically worried about getting caught. I was worried all the time about selling drugs, getting caught with drugs, getting a DUI. I mean, I lived recklessly. I lived fast, died young, and I would laugh about I was going to leave a great corpse. My homeboys and me, who were reckless homeboys, racing to death. We were in a race with death in our 20s. It's interesting, two of my best friends from that era died last year of addictions, and in their early 60s of alcoholism. One died of acute alcoholism. Another one died of a liver challenge directly related to his drinking and cancer. So, I mean, these are two of my homeboys, my homies that never got clean and sober. And I remember when I first got clean and sober, they laughed at me. They said I couldn't hold my liquor any longer. Actually told me I was weak, and I stopped conversing with them. Another one of my friends had 9 DUIs and spent 12 years in prison. I mean, in our world, very few people get out alive. And if you're on this Facebook Live here this afternoon, congratulations, because you are in recovery, sobriety, consciousness, and you're in an aware state. Most of you own a business or in the process of owning a business or improving your lot in life, or you're improving your job or whatever it is you're doing. But all of you that I know are in a state of improvement, a state of awareness. You're letting go. And that let go state, as you let go more frequently, and letting go becomes a reflex. It becomes an energy. It becomes a synergy. It becomes a be now state. As you begin to let go, then you elevate your consciousness. That conscious awareness that you're elevating allows you to be free of the past, free of your mind. It allows you to be, oh, Kate says, give Kate a hand. Everyone, Kate says 131 days sober. That's our girl, Kate Grace, who is the founder of the Let Go David Hawkins group. Kate, please post here for any of the newcomers who want to join your group. I highly endorse Kate Grace in many forums. Kate is a very skilled health coach. So thank you, Kate, for sharing with us. Scott Lucas, so good to see you this afternoon, Scott. How are you today, my brother? It is so awesome. Let's everyone give a hand to Mr. Ron Ziegler. Ron has been following me for 12 years. Ron still calls me Mr. Combs. And Ron has been going through some health challenges. So let's everyone say a prayer for Ron today. Also want to let you know, Aaron, that a woman contacted me immediately after Clubhouse Live. So this will show you that Clubhouse Live we only had 2 Clubhouse Lives. Aaron and I experimenting that with Scott Lucas. And I want you to know, Scott, I had a woman contact me right after Clubhouse, and she was in tears and let me know that the serenity prayer brought her to tears, and she committed to sobriety right after that Clubhouse Live. So for those of you who are not on Clubhouse Live with us, every Sunday night, Aaron Knight and I, and then we have a couple other co-collaborators that are moderators with us. Scott Lucas is one of them. The 3 of us so far are the moderators on a Sobriety Consciousness Clubhouse Live. We'll be hosting that at 9:30 every Sunday evening, so you're free to join us. So the power of prayer. So see, that's what can happen. Now, I've known this woman for 9 years, and she's followed me for 9 years. But just something as simple of the power of spirit. It said, Aaron read the serenity prayer. She said it moved her to tears. She absolutely broke down, contacted me, sent me a message in her 20-minute call with her the very next day, and then she went to a meeting that day. I mean, that's the power of prayer. I mean, that shows what we are doing is gaining a collective consciousness. And so that's what will free you up. I remember being clean and sober for me. It was like just such a relief not to think that I was going to get drunk that night. I used to plan how I was going to get drunk, then how I was going to have the dry heaves in the morning, and then I'd be into the next day, how I was going to buy the alcohol that I was going to drink at 5 o'clock the next day. I mean, you can never be free when you're ahead like that. When you're overwhelmed, worried about money, worried about a relationship, when you're worried about getting fired, when you're worried about worrying and worrying about your worrying, then you tell yourself that you're always worried. Money doesn't worry about you, and these people that you think are going to judge you, most of them are so overwhelmed they're not going to judge you. They're so overwhelmed judging themselves that they're not going to be judging anyone. Kate said we're reading the Map of Consciousness Explained. Okay, Kate, right here. This is the book Kate is talking about. On page 216 of this book, it is the best breakdown that I have ever read about the term the payoff. So Hawkins breaks it down to the experiencer. What it means is the payoff. It means that when the pleasure is still worth the pain, you'll continue to perpetuate the same situations over and over to fulfill a neurochemical craving that you are emotionally addicted to. And that's what will keep you avoiding. It will keep you avoiding prospecting, calling leads, going out and getting listings. It will keep you avoiding going on a dating site. It will keep you from going on a date with someone else, because the analytical egoic mind, the reptilian brain, will continue to vacillate and tell yourself that you're not good enough, you're not good enough, you're not good enough. And then you'll go out and fuck up to fulfill that, and you go, see, I knew this would happen to me. Or someone will, out of left field, show up and violate you, and you'll go, oh, that always happens to me. Or an appointment that you have doesn't show up, and you were counting on that sale because that was your pretty little pet, and that sale was going to rescue you, save you. Or that man that you're going to have a date with, or that woman you're going to have a date with, that ex-girlfriend who is your cheerleader girlfriend from 39 years ago, she miraculously has something come up and she doesn't make the appointment. And then you internalize that and make that about you. That's the analytical, egoic mind that processes, thinks, validates, and analyzes. Lisa Faye Pazanza has joined us this afternoon. Lisa is one of my longest standing active clients, 7 years. Thank you very much, Lisa. Honored to be here with you. And she is a sister and a comrade in recovery with us. So thank you very much. So good to see you, Lisa. And I highly recommend you reach out to Lisa. Ruth Diaz Ortega is with us this afternoon, and I highly recommend Ruth. Ruth is a Reiki specialist and a quantum healer and has many, many skills when it comes to quantum healing, and I highly suggest you reach out to her. Ruth C. Diaz Ortega. Ruth, let them know how they can reach you. I know you're on Facebook. Aaron says, immobilized by fear of fallen perfection. Lisa says, thank you very much. Lisa, feel free to comment here. I watched Lisa overcome an internal skin infection that was underneath her skin, and I watched her release it over a 1-year period. It was amazing to watch her completely heal herself. So when you're free, you're in a healing process. Now, in Hawkins' books, I mean, you may have read this before, but people that have multiple personalities is fascinating. People that have multiple personalities can get cancer in one personality and be completely healthy in another personality. Now, in even understanding that, that means that, so Ruth is an acupuncture specialist. So in understanding that, so if you're in South Florida, get a hold of Ruth. She left her phone number. So understanding that, so just factor this. In one personality, you can have cancer. In another personality, you can be healthy. Mike Macon, good to see you. Mike says, realized the other day what my real payoff is, and not, I know I don't need it anymore. So thank you, Scott. Mike, that is amazing. Ron, which says, I wish I could come to South Florida. Ron, I will come to South Florida. Lisa will host me. Hi, I'm late, but I'll catch the replay. Thank you, Michelle, for being here this afternoon. Mike says, thank you, Jeff, for assisting me. Mike, you are a good fucking dude. So thank you for being here this afternoon, everyone. So we're all in this together, and understand this. Once again, Ron Ziegler, for those of you, Ron has been a follower of mine for 12 years. Everyone say, give Ron a prayer. He's been going through some health challenges. Ron definitely deserves some love from us all. Ron is a good man. And if you ever require a prayer or some energy, this is a place to say, please send it to me, and we will deliver. We as a collective consciousness, we as one, are a very strong unit of a collective consciousness. So a mastermind is one of more coming together for a common cause. And when you can really understand that common cause, and you are no longer attached to the outcome, well, then you're free. You're free of your mind. You're free of your brain. You're free of what you hold on to. You're here and you're now. And then you're not in an overwhelmed state. And you stop saying, I'm always overwhelmed. I can't get it together. You stop breaking down so much. You stop crying so much. I have coached clients who I started out my first sessions with them, they'll cry. And after a few hours of coaching, they never cry again. It's because they start to elevate themselves above being a victim. They've been victimized, traumatized, sexually abused, used, taken advantage of, and continue to set themselves up to be in that state. But as you begin to understand that that's not the mind-body connection that you are required to live in, as you're able to separate feelings and let go, as you're able to elevate yourself above your challenges, as you're able to look over your shoulder and look at your challenges as past tense and focus only on the present. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't address a challenge, but it means that you don't overwhelm yourself on it. So if you've ever been in a legal situation, gone through a divorce or any other situation, or feel like your neck is in a noose, the more you focus on that, the sicker your body becomes. It means you start to live in dis-ease. The more that you start to focus on what you don't want to have happen, it creates this inflammation. If you grew up in an inflamed family environment where there was fighting, anger, addictions, drugs, violence, oftentimes that inflamed family environment becomes your own inflammation because you internalize it and somehow you make it your fault. If you'd just be a better kid, if you'd have done more, if you'd have saved your mother, this wouldn't have happened. And so what happens is we tend to take on other people's pain. That means we're empathic. And when we hold on to it, then it starts to break down our body and it becomes a mind-body connection. And if you had asthma as a child, there's a high probability that you were an unwanted child. If you have nasal congestion, if you have hay fever, if you have other situations, if you have drainage problems, if you have congestion, a lot of that is unresolved anger about people who violated you. As you begin to address the cause that creates the effect, then you're not the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings. And that's what creates your freedom. And that freedom means you're no longer giving power to someone else. You're not allowing someone to make you angry. No one can make you angry. You're angry. They're not making you. You're angry. You really piss me off. Well, that's a great way to end up with prostate issues. When you focus like that, when you talk about that, when you're a male and you're really pissed off, what you're really saying is you're going to swell your prostate. It'll affect your urethra, and then you'll end up with prostate challenges that can lead to other cancers and other situations. As you begin to really free yourself from the events, if you're no longer worried and you're not calling your mother because she's your mother, but you dread calling your mother, if you stop dreading it and stop calling her and let go of the guilt associated with it, it would change your whole context and you wouldn't be so overwhelmed and worried. Then you wouldn't attract other passive-aggressive perpetrators like your mother that you feel guilted in this relationship. And then your teammates that you're seeking to attract would change. And this would be a different mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings. Man, I struggle with a runny nose. Okay, so that is Joy. So Joy, we'll cover that when we coach, but anytime you have hay fever, congestion, address someone close to you. Sit down in a chair, sit down on the floor, shower, sauna, steam room, breathe, release through your abdomen, abdominal breathing, and address anyone from your past or anyone in your present that you're really pissed off at. Someone that you're giving too much power to. Someone that's trying to control you or you're trying to control them. Or you're in competition or you're in conflict with that person. Let go of the conflict. Let go right here, right now. That frees you. I am me and I am free. Joy, good to see you. Look forward to coaching you. Scott Lucas, how are you this afternoon? So as you begin, I am me and I am free is an affirmation. Now, in my commercial building that is a museum, I once had one of my clients, Pete Tamillo. He had a wood carving. Pete lives in Philadelphia. He had a large wood carving. It said, I am me and I am free. So it's actually down in my building. I had some people down buying antiques for me one day, and they offered me a few $100s for that sign, and I passed on it because a client had made that for me. It's not the wood, it's the significance and the meaning of that whole process of Pete. I was Pete's coach from 2010 to 2016. 7 years I coached Pete. So that had a deep, deep meaning. So anxiety, fear, and doubt. Would you rather be in anxiety, fear, and doubt, or creativity and innovation? They're two completely different contexts. So anxiety, fear, and doubt will keep you in an overwhelmed state. When you're in creativity and innovation, you're in elevated consciousness because you're being creative. You're the creator. I mean, you're in an inspired body, an inspired mind. You're putting pieces together. You can see the outcome. That's a vision. When you're in anxiety, fear, and doubt, you're completely shut down. There is no freedom. You're in your own jail. You can't move. You can't leave your house. You can't prospect. You can't pick up the telephone. You can't write content. You can't post pictures because you're afraid of what? What is it? I'm afraid of putting myself out there. Well, out there is a mythical space in space that is no space. There is no out there. It's two words that have no meaning. The context means, though, I'll be rejected, I'll be abandoned, I'll be traumatized, I'll be victimized, I'll be taken advantage of, I'll be laughed at, I'll make a fool of myself, no one will follow me. Power of the mind over body, Grace says. That is absolutely correct. And as you begin to move into the separation, that means you're letting go. You're separating your feelings from events. You create a space that's called allow space. You allow yourself to free yourself from your past. You allow yourself to free yourself from the stories. It's the stories we tell ourselves, most of them grounded into not being good enough. And as we begin to let go, so that is an awful feeling, Lisa says. You're correct. That is an awful feeling. As you begin to let go, which is the separation from the feelings that shape the events. That's the anger, hate, resentment, guilt, shame, abandonment, rejection, overwhelmed feelings, grief, apathy, and pride. As you're letting go of those feelings, so Colleen says, I am me, I am free, I produce in a relaxed body. That is an affirmation I wrote many, many years ago. So what the relaxed body is, it means there's flexibility. It means you're able to be flexible. You can adapt and adjust. And in a conversation that you're having, you can direct the flow of the conversation. You can also exit the conversation. Because when you're free, you don't feel trapped. You don't feel obligated. You don't feel obligated to let someone throw up in your ear for an hour. You don't feel obligated to sit through a meeting that you don't really want to be in. You can get up and leave because you're free. You're free of guilt. You no longer hold on to shame. If you were traumatized, victimized, taken advantage of, Kayla, so good to see you. You're no longer holding on to that. So you're in your power rather than giving your power away. You don't find yourself in codependent, enabling, over-obligating relationships because you're free of that. Your relationships become much healthier, more loving. You're not in a traumatic relationship. You're not in a controlling relationship. You're not controlling the other ones. You're not lending people money to try and control an outcome. You're not then angry when they don't pay you back. Bernice says, I am me and I am free. The power is mine. Thank you, Bernice. And you are actually living that. I am watching you be that woman virtually in the last 60 days. Just some great adapt and adjust that I've seen you create. So that is what I'm covering here this afternoon. It is a beautiful day in Northern California. So I will say this one more time. Just as soon as California joins the states where there are no masks, I will start the Protege Writer Speakers Workshop and the Breakthroughs to Success. So could be any month in the very next few months. So we will be back in operation. I have not done a Breakthroughs to Success since December 2019 and a Protege since November 2019. So those events will be BOB, back on the books. So I see that many of you are looking forward to those, attending those events. Those are life-changing events in beautiful Stockton, California. So covering up here, see, being who are you capable of becoming. It's the last point of my 7 points of I am me and I am free. As you step into your power and begin to understand what I am capable of. That's you. That's what I am capable of. You are capable of owning your own property. You are capable of being free of your own debt. You are capable of being a 6 or a 7-figure income earner. You're capable of being clean and sober. I mean, you're capable of living the rest of your life in a relaxed body and sobriety. You're capable of being a great leader and a great mentor. You're capable of changing your entire life. You're capable of leading by example. You are unequivocally capable, and the only thing separating you from being capable is your belief. Now, your belief means your sense of certainty. Now, the payoff now Grace, you will understand this. The payoff that so many people live in is disappointment. Because as long as they stay in disappointment, they don't have to be responsible. And the more you understand that neurochemical craving that the body craves, the brain-body connection craves, to be disappointed is no longer necessary because the pleasure isn't worth the pain. Ron, give Ron a hand. Ron said 5 years in recovery. I want to thank you, everyone, for being here this afternoon on Tuesday, Facebook Live, 2 for Tuesday. I will be back on Facebook tonight at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you for being here this afternoon. If you are brand new to Facebook Live and not taking advantage of a free 20-minute coaching call, feel free to go right up there and Messenger request one, and I'll get back to you within 24 hours. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day.